Hi guys, welcome to Varun Sharma Academy. Today I am going to discuss about Bayes theorem. Once we are through with this video, you will be able to understand Bayes theorem in a simple way and you will be able to solve problems without much difficulties. There are two prerequisites for understanding Bayes theorem. Number one is you should have some basic ideas about sets, and number two, you should have some basic ideas about probability. For example, we should be conversant with the terms like sample space, elementary events, and things like that. So first, before going into the Bayes theorem, let me give an example where Bayes theorem is required. So let us look at this question. Box 1 contains 3 white balls and 2 black balls, and box 2 contains 1 white ball and 4 black balls. You can choose any box at random and take out 1 ball randomly. Now there could be two questions. Question number 1 is that suppose you choose the first box, box 1, then what is the probability the ball will be white? That is one question. The second question could be, if the ball is white, then what is the probability that the box chosen was 1? So this is called a reverse probability, and the Bayes theorem, which is named after the scientist who discovered this, basically addresses this question. This is a very simple example. So from there we will come to the general question and a general answer. Let us draw the problem. There are two boxes, B1 and B2. In B1 we have got 3 white balls and 2 black balls. So total number of balls in B1 is 5, and in B2 we have got 1 white ball and 4 black balls, total 5 balls. Now probability of white ball given B1, that is probability of drawing a white ball given the first box is chosen, will be the number of elementary events in B1 intersection W. W represents the event that the white ball has been withdrawn. So it will be number of elementary events in W intersection B1, which is 3, and divided by number of elementary events in B1, which is 5. So the answer is that probability of white given B1 is 3 by 5. However, please remember that we cannot find out number of elementary events all the time. Many times it is given in terms of probability. So we have to convert this into a formula of probability. So how do you do that? What we do is both these parts we divide it by the total number of elements in the sample space. That is total number of elementary events in sample space. That is total elementary events possible. So we divide both the parts by total number of elementary events in the sample space. So there is no change. But the top one becomes then probability of W intersection B1, and the bottom portion becomes probability of B1. So we convert from number of elementary events to probability, and let me generalize this. In general, probability of A given B, or conditional probability of A given event B has occurred, is given by this formula, probability A intersection B divided by probability B. So you see, if there are two events A and B, probability of A given B is given by this formula, which we have just found out, is that probability A intersection B divided by probability of B. Now similarly, P B given A is P A intersection B by probability A. The similar argument or similar rationale you can use. Now you can see one thing, that probability A intersection B is probability A given B into PB, probability B is equal to probability B by A into probability A. So this is called multiplication of probability. This theory or this formula is called multiplication of probability. Now there is one more interesting part in it. The interesting part is that we have shown that probability A intersection B is probability A given B into probability B. Now two events are called independent events if given condition does not impact the outcome of the event. For example, in this case we are saying probability A given B. It will not be impacted by the condition that B has happened. So in that case it will become probability A. And then it will be called an independent. These two events A and B will be independent when there is no impact of B on A. So then probability A intersection B will be probability A into probability B. This is when the two events are independent. Please note that independent does not mean mutually exclusive. In fact, most of the time two independents can have a intersection which is a non-empty set. Now let me come back to the original problem and let us now answer the second part. What is the second part? The second part was that what is the probability that box 1 was chosen given the ball was white. So here it will be again probability of B1 intersection W divided by probability of W in the same logic. Now we know probability B1 intersection W, we have already found out it is 3 by 10, right? 3 by 10. Now we have to find out what is probability W. Probability W is total number of elements Now we have to find what is probability of W, that is probability of a white ball. Now this can happen, a white ball can come in two ways. One is that it can be from box 1 or it can be from box 2. Now what is the probability that it will come from box 1? It is given by probability of box 1 choosing box 1 into probability of white given box 1. And the second part is it could be probability of box 2 into probability of W given box 2. So this will be the total probability of white. Now probability of box 1 will be how much? As we said that it is a randomly chosen box. There are only two boxes. You have to choose one of them. So the probability of B1 is half. And we have worked out probability W given B1 is 3 by 5 plus what is probability B2? Again it is two random box, it is one of them, so it is half, and this part probability white given B2 is 1 by 5. So if we calculate 2 by 5. So now we will put the value of 2 by 5 here. So now we will put 2 by 5 here, which will become 3 by 10 into 5 by 2, which will be 3 by 4. So probability that the box is number 1 box, given that the ball drawn is white, is 3 by 4. And we can also expect or matching our expectations, because you can see the number of balls, white balls, is more in box 1. So definitely probability of B1 given W will be more than probability of B2 given W. So this is 3 by 4. Let us go into the Bayes theorem now. So let us have a sample space here, and which let us divide this sample space into n events, and each event is such that it is mutually exclusive and exhaustive. Let me explain what does it mean. When we talk about exhaustive, that means sum of all these put together will be the sample space. So this is called exhaustive. And what is exclusive? We are also taking second condition is that all the events are mutually exclusive. That means if we take about any two events, their intersection will be a null set or empty set. For any I not equal to j, that means E1 intersection E2 will be phi, E1 intersection En will be phi, and like that. And third condition is that probability of any event is more than 0 for any I, and we like this for all I. So this is the symbol for all I. So this is the way we write probability Ei greater than 0 for all I. Now let us have one event A, which we have denoted by this, and let us say that A intersect all these mutually exclusive and exhaustive events. So we know that probability of A will be the probability of intersection of all these. Since these are mutually exclusive events, so we can write probability A is equal to probability A intersection E, that is this area, plus probability A intersection E2, this area. So that way we add up all the areas and we get ultimately the last one is the probability A intersection En. Now from the earlier one we have found out that probability A intersection E1 is given as probability E1 into probability A given E1. So for each one of these, what we will do is we will multiply probability of that event, this is the E event, into probability of A given E. So that will give the total probability of A. So in mathematical terms, we will write it as sum of P Ei into probability of A given Ei for I is equal to 1 to n. So that will give you the probability of A. Clear? Now you can see this. Normally we know what is probability of A given Ei. You can take the similarities between our original problem where box and balls are given. Here Ei is the box because box 1, box 2, they are mutually exclusive and exhaustive. And A here represents the white balls. So we know that white box, probability of white box, if box 1 is given, that is known. So normally in this kind of cases we know what is probability A given Ei, and we have to find out the reverse probability, what is probability Ei given A. So what we do is probability Ei given A, we know from the earlier formula it will be probability A intersection Ei by probability A. Now what is probability A? We have found out earlier probability A is sigma P Ei into P, A given EI. So for all those events, we have to find out the probability here, which is probability A. And in top, probability A intersection EI is given by probability EI into P probability A intersection EI. So basically this is your Bayes theorem. Now let's solve one or two problems. The concepts will be clearer to you. So let's solve this problem. Let A be the event that he knows the answer. B be with the event that he guesses. That means also he doesn't know the answer. So probability of A is 3 by 4 given. Now B will be definitely 1 minus 3 by 4, that is 1 by 4. Now given is probability C given B, that is the answer is correct given that the he guesses the question, that is he does not know the answer, he guesses the question but the answer somehow gets corrected, so that is 1 by 4. Now what is P? C given A, that means probability of question it is correct given that he knows the answer, it will be 1. This is interesting part because it is not very clearly given in the problem, but we have to guess that, because if he knows the answer he will be giving the correct answer, right? So the question being asked is, what is the probability of the student knows the answer, that is probability A, given that he has answered it correctly. So it is probability A given C. Now what it will be? It will be probability of A into probability of C given A. This is as per the Bayes theorem, divided by probability of C, which is a sum of probability of A into probability of C given A plus probability of B into probability of C given B. Now we know, let us put these values. So probability A is 3 by 4, and then the probability of C given A we have found 1, divided by again 3 by 4 into 1 plus probability of B is 1/4 into probability of C given B is given 1/4. So when we do the calculations, we will find this is coming 12 by 13. So when the answer is correct, the probability that he knows the answer is 12 by 13. So this is a reverse probability calculation using Bayes theorem. Let's see another problem. So let's look at another problem. There are 3 coins. One is a two-headed coin, that means having head on both sides. Another is a biased coin that comes up with heads with 75% probability. And third one is the unbiased coin. Now, one of the coin is chosen at random. That means when you say it is random, that means choosing any coin is probability is 1/3 because there are 3 coins. It shows head. What is the probability that it was the two-headed coin? So we have chosen a coin randomly, which is got 1/3 probability of choosing any coin, and then you flip the coin and it comes out as head. So what is the probability that it is a two-headed coin? So this is the problem. So first let us denote all these events. Let's say A represents the event that it is a two-headed coin, B represents the event it's a biased coin, and C represents the coin which is an unbiased coin. Definitely probability A is equal to probability B is equal to probability C 1/3, which we have discussed. These are mutually exhaustive events. these are mutually exclusive events, and probability of each one of these event is more than 0. So it satisfied all the Bayes theorem. And let H denote the event that head appears. So the question being asked is, what is A? That means the coin is unbiased given that the toss came up as head. So as per Bayes theorem, probability A given H will be probability A into probability head given A divided by sum of PA into PH by A plus PB into PH by B plus PC into PH by C. Okay. Now what is PA? PA has been given as 1/3. What is PH given A? That means PH given is probability of head given A occurs. A is a two-headed coin and H means head occurs. So it is 1. So now the bottom part, let's say PA, it will be again 1/3 into 1, this first part. The second part will be 1/3 into probability H given B. What is probability H given B? Which has been already given in the problem itself, which is 75%, that is 3/4 plus 1/3 into probability H by C, that is in the unbiased coin, what is the chance or probability of having head from an unbiased coin is half. So this will be the answer once we simplify 4/9. So this is the answer 4/9. So this is another example of Bayes theorem. So hope that you have enjoyed this session. Thank you very much for watching this video.